Hello everyone. Today I'm going to discuss with you all what are the do's and the don'ts for any resume. While applying for any particular position, what are the things you have to keep in mind, and what are some of the tips which you can keep in mind so that while sending your resume to your recruiters or any one particular organization, what is important. Starting here with what are the things which is needed for in a resume. The very first thing is when you start off with your name, right? After that you should provide your contact details, which might includes your email id, your phone number, your LinkedIn id. Now you might have seen that many of them might have written about their full address. Remember, address is not that important. You can just specify the place where you stay, maybe the city name, and the state is sufficient to be provided. So very first thing is about the email ID. Remember, the email ID which you might have created long ago during your school days with some funny names, full number, different numbers, combination and all that. Please try to avoid that. You have to remember, you have to create one more email ID which will be used by you for all the official purpose in the future. Try to keep it very simple, and don't make fun of yourself in your resume. When you're saying about yourself in your resume, you have to keep yourself simple when it comes to email ID. Next comes is about the contact number, phone number. When it comes to the phone number, you might be having 2 to 3 numbers with you, but giving one mobile number which you will be using all the time, and the number which obviously has the incoming call. Okay, preferably you have to give those that number, that particular number. Try to avoid giving your parents number in your resume, because sometimes the recruiters might take telephonic interviews also. So if you're not available at that time, it might be a problem for you. Like many of the recruiters, they do that over the call. They take interview, and you'll be called for the last round sometimes. So if you give your parents number or someone else number, so at times it becomes difficult for them to contact you, and the opportunity which was supposed to be given to you will be lost, right? Next comes is about the LinkedIn ID. Many of them, they don't create one, and some of them, those who create one, don't update it. Okay, so in case you have not created a LinkedIn ID till now, create one, and that LinkedIn ID has to be included in your resume. And make sure that whenever you get any upgradation in your professional skills or any qualification or any achievements, you have to update it on LinkedIn ID, so that this LinkedIn ID can serve as a template, for you whenever if you, in case you have to apply for a new job, and you don't have time to sit and type at one particular point of time, so you can directly download it from your LinkedIn ID. Okay, so you might be seeing this as one of the resume of a person who is a fresher. Okay, it's given as research assistants and lab engineer, but it's about more of profession. It's about a fresher who has just completed his studies and want to apply for a post. Okay, the next thing is which you have to keep in mind is when you're writing about your qualifications. Okay, you will have to write your qualification in the reverse order. When I'm saying about the reverse order, that is the most recent one qualification which you have got, that should be written first, and then followed by your previous qualifications. So if I have to give you an example here, your degree which you're pursuing, okay, you have to write it as in that way. Maybe you're a BCom, BCA, BSc, BA student. Remember, you will have to write it as that particular stream in the highest qualification, and you will have to mention as pursuing. In case you want, you can just mention over here what is your aggregate of 2 semester, 4 semester or 5 semester marks. You can just mention it over there whenever you are applying for the job. Okay, you have to keep that thing ready, but in a reverse order. So maybe the order will be like this, that is your BCom, BCA, BA, BSc, that qualification will come first, followed by your PUC details, okay, and then comes your SSLC marks. And after that, in case you have got some other qualification, you will be adding over there. The next thing which you have to keep in mind is about the languages known by you. In case you are applying for any particular position which demands for a particular language to be known by you, please don't lie about the language you know. In case you know it properly, I mean you are fluent enough, only then mention it. Some of them, they prefer the languages which is there, they want you to mention as whether you know it verbally, I mean you know it just to speak, or whether you know to write, read, all that. So you can just mention whenever it's a need of hour. Okay, if it is not mentioned, if you can just mention like you know the language or not. Okay, but many of them, they prefer that you keep your languages known as mention it clearly, whether you know to only speak or whether you know to read and write as well. And next comes about any internships or projects you have done. As we all know that being your NEP syllabus right these days, or whatever the SCP syllabus, or whichever syllabus you have, it is made compulsory that you have to undergo internship, right? So you get an opportunity to go for internship, work in the corporate or any organization before you actually join the job. So it's a really good experience which you get. So you can just mention about your internship details if you have, and you can even mention about your projects, the projects which you have completed during your college days or previous individually. If you're doing any projects, you can just make a mention over it. And as you can see here, it's mentioned as a career objective. Make sure that your career objective which is there, that is it is very simple, okay, and you should be knowing that career objective. Maybe in your interview sometimes you will be asked as what is your objective, okay. Whatever you have mentioned, you should be knowing that what you have written. You shouldn't fumble over there when the interviewer is asking about the objective which you have written and you've already submitted to them. So that makes makes them feel that you are not knowing whatever you have given. So forget about any other job which is assigned to you. Okay, so these are the things which you have to keep in mind, which is needed when you are adding in your resume. And then comes all sample which I'll be sharing with you all in the next videos, wherein how you have to create one resume. Okay, the next thing which is not necessary for filling in your resume, as I had mentioned earlier, address is not needed. Your door number, your which floor you're staying, or what is your house name, it's not needed by any of your recruiters. Okay, they just want to know at which particular city or which particular state you reside, so that they can offer you a job based on that. Some of the organization, they have branches, so they would like to see as in which particular place you stay, so that job can be provided sometimes near to your residence, right? I mean, not everyone is that good to your recruiters, but some of them, they prefer that if you are staying nearby, then definitely you will not skip to any other job. That is the mentality of the recruiters sometimes. So you can just mention which city and which particular state you reside. Okay, followed by the photo. Okay, remember it's not necessary that you have to put your photograph in your resume, but in case you feel that you have to include one, make sure that it's a formal photograph which is taken of yours, and the photograph which is there, that should have a white background. It shouldn't be in different colors or having some background. It shouldn't be you have dressed up for any particular function or something like that. Please try to avoid such photographs. You might be looking good in those photographs, but that is not needed by the recruiters. They just want you to see like how you look formally. So please see that you take a photograph which has a white background. It's not only for your resume, it's for any other applications also. When you apply for, it's prefer that you have a white background photograph which will be included there. Okay, and then as I said, I mentioned earlier that resume which is there, that can be prepared in different templates and different colors, but try to avoid vibrant colors and images in your resume. Please try to avoid that. Okay, make it look formal. Okay, you might like colors, you might want it to be colorful, you might have an artistic mind, but that is not needed by your recruiters. They don't need it at all. Okay, and then comes the unnecessary information. It's like you have won any particular running race or something like that. Okay, if it is not needed as per the description which is given by your interviewer or by your organization, please try to avoid such unnecessary information. So these things you can keep in mind. Okay, first thing is about the address. You can just mention about your place, I mean city, and your state. Photographs, it's your choice, but if you're attaching one, so make sure the photograph is formal and avoid vibrant colors and unnecessary information. Next, I would like to share with you a few tips which you have to keep in mind while building a resume. Okay, and again while sharing it with your recruiters. The very first thing is about the number of pages. Since you are sending a resume, remember it should be maximum 2 pages. But in case you have got work experience in the future, make sure that your resume is more than 2 pages, because it shows that whatever after joining any particular job, what experience you have got and what more you have learnt after joining there. Okay, so that is important. Number of pages, resume has to be only 2 pages maximum. Even in 1 pages, if you have your resume, it's more than enough. Don't be carried away by seeing your friend's resume which is more than 3 to 4 pages. Remember, it is max 2 pages. Next one is about proofreading your resume. You might have prepared one, but go through your resume once again. Just proofread it, whatever the details you have entered, whether it is correct or not. If any corrections are needed or any changes have to be done, you have to do it before sending it to your recruiters. See, once you have sent it, some of the recruiters don't ask you once again the resume when you go for the interviews. Whatever you have sent, same thing they'll go through and they'll be asking you questions. So just because of your spelling errors or any particular mistake, if you are questioned, you might feel embarrassed over there in front of your interviewer. So proofread your resume. Next thing is, please don't lie in your resume. As I had mentioned earlier, that suppose there is a need for any particular interview, that you have to know a particular language. Just in order to fill that vacancy or get that particular job, don't lie that you know that particular language. It can be for the language, it can be for the qualification also. You might create a fake one while applying for the job, but remember, you might be caught in the future. Okay, so you have to be very careful. You shouldn't lie in your resume. Next thing is, when you are sending your resume, make sure that it has to be sent in a PDF form. You might prepare your resume in your Word document or any other form, but when you download one and keep it with you, while sending, you have to share it in the form of PDF. The reason why is any corrections, sometimes while applying for the job, there might be some employees over there, those who are collecting your resume, and they don't want you to join there. They might remove some of your details and all that. So it's better you send it in a PDF form. Yes, again, if you send in the PDF form, the chances, I don't say it is zero, that any of the employee might do some fraud or something like that, but still send it in the PDF form. The next tip which I would like to share with you all is about your English which you use. Try to keep it very simple. Now we know that people try to use fancy words to keep themselves like stand out of the crowd, or feel that okay, they are superior with the English language which they are using. But try to keep it very simple, so that if the recruiters understand, it's more than enough. Okay, they don't want your English to be very high or something like that. Next is, it's better you design your own template for your resume. Okay, why I'm saying that is, many a times what happens is, you copy the templates which is readily available, And when you copy the readily available template, right, there are there are so many people those are already copied it, or when you are preparing at the same times, many of them they might be preparing one like yours. So if you want to keep yourself different from others, those who have applied for the interview, it's better you create your own template.